We have another Mossberg. This is the Mossberg Patriot in 350 Legend. I've had excellent luck with Mossberg Patriots, and for the money, I think it's a great looking gun. Real walnut, the checkering is good, the trigger is excellent. It's about a 2.5 pound brake trigger. It's also user adjustable. 2-position safety. If you're up in the mountains, I like a 3-position safety, but for whitetail hunting, 2-position safety is just fine. And I've mounted a Citron S1 3.5 by 10 with a 50mm objective. This is the S1 3.5 to 10 G2. The latest line of Citron S1 scopes has been excellent. I've tested 3 of them and they're all excellent. 50mm objective. Normally you want an exit pupil that matches your eye. So if your exit pupil will dilate to 5mm, then 10 power, you still have a 5mm exit pupil. So for low light, coatings are important, scope design is important, but you really can't get that far away from exit pupil. So I have a variety of ammo. It's not very windy. There's maybe a 5 to 10 mile an hour crosswind, not too bad. So I don't expect bug hole groups, but I'd like to see at least a minute of whitetail groups. And I've got fresh paper set up at 75 yards. So let's take a look. I'm going to start out with 180 grain Winchesters. Super X, 180 grain PowerPoint. You get a little bit better ballistics, external ballistics with lighter bullets, but 180 grains, certainly for hogs. If you use the 350 Legend for hogs, I'll take the extra bullet mass, assuming we have good accuracy, which I don't know. So let's see, let's zoom in as best we can. Alright, so this is just 75 yards. We'll take a couple shots and see where we're at. And we are essentially nowhere. So I'm going to change ammo. Go with the Browning BXR 155 grain. Well, there we go. I have no idea what happened with that 180 grain Winchester ammo. Have to go down and take a look. But with the Browning ammo, it's certainly a minute of whitetail. And just to be clear about the ammo I'm using here, this is Browning 350 Legend BXR Rapid Expansion. And the grain weight is 155 grains. So that's actually a good looking case, good looking bullet. And it's good for minute of whitetail. I don't have the best rest. And of course, you know, nut behind the butt and all that stuff. Ancient Randy Wakeman, but obviously that wants to group. So let me go down and grab the paper. After I mounted my Citron S1, which, because of the 50mm objective, I used quick detach worn rings, high. So that's what you need if you go with this Citron, which is one bright scope. Anyway, the initial sighting was done with full metal jacket, cheap ammo, which is one of the benefits of 350 Legend, is that it's economical enough so you can practice, so you can shoot. The 180 grain power points, I have no idea. Probably on the board somewhere, but not nearly where I want to be. But the Browning loads, in this case, yeah, just under an inch center to center. Or right at an inch. So that's dead deer. So that's promising. It obviously wants to group. So just an ammo change obviously can make a tremendous difference in point of impact. So we've got fresh paper again, and I want to try some of the Winchester Copper Impact loads and see if we can get on the paper as well. These are 150 grain Copper Impact, and great looking bullet. But looking great doesn't mean it's going to work great. But that is, well, that's just a great looking round with a nice red tip. So we'll see how it does. With copper, you know, that's the way the world is going. So you might be forced to use non-lead. Some people are in a lot of areas on public land. Of course, I'll be hunting private land, so lead works just fine. So we'll take a couple shots with the copper bullets, Winchester Copper Impact, and hopefully we'll be on the paper. Well, those loads want to group as well. Obviously, point of impact is low, but did about the same thing. So let me go grab them and we'll wrap this up. So if you hear some heavy breathing, it's not me. It's June the Wonder Dog, who's tremendously disappointed that we're not pheasant hunting, but that's the brakes. So you can see the difference. They're only two-shot groups. I'm trying to save a little ammo, but they did about the same thing. This being the copper, and we'll have to do some more testing. But in this particular Mossberg Patriot, it looks like these 155 grain BXRs are going to be a really good choice. So what I'd like to do next time I'm out is do a comparison between the Mossberg and the Savage 110, because they're both excellent 350 Legend rifles. But I have to say, there's a lot to be said for the aesthetics of the Mossberg. It looks like a real gun. Functional checkering, decent walnut, nice cheek piece. So when you throw that gun up, your eye is perfectly aligned with the scope, which is what you want. Again, these are Warren Maxima quick detach rings, high for the 50mm objective. With the typical 40mm objective, you're not going to need that. The mediums will be fine. 36mm objective, if that's the type of scope you want to hunt with, you can probably go with the low. But medium is the default, but if you go with the 50mm, to have clearance for the scope caps and things like that, go with high. But I like the trigger, I like the look. You do have a fluted barrel on the Mossberg Patriot, which is cosmetic. There's not enough metal removed to be significant. But the 350 Legend is incredibly soft shooting. Anyway, and this is a substantial gun, you have a vented recoil pad, but there's no recoil here to talk about. The ejection on spent rounds, very good. So, like the last several Mossberg Patriots I've tested, I'm impressed. For the money, it's probably the best looking bolt action rifle for the money you can get. But Mossberg's really done it right with their Patriot line. It owes a debt of gratitude to the Savage, you know, the barrel nut, etc., etc. Very similar type action. But smooth feeding, good ejection, and no problem hunting in this area this fall. So, not much not to like. And there's more ammo. I have 7 or 8 different types of ammo, so maybe I'll find the magic wonder box. But that's a story for another day. So, thanks for stopping by, folks. Mossberg Patriot bolt action 350 Legend.